E.N.D here. Today I'm going to tell you another curious story. This time is the story of Masters 25. Masters 25 is the master set that the intention of this set is to commemorate the 25 years of Magic the Gathering. This set was released in March 2018, 1 year and a half ago, and it was announced much more prior than that date. On the date of the announcement, everyone went crazy. They announced a new master set, a master set that will cover 25 years of Magic the Gathering, will have the best cards from 25 years of Magic the Gathering. You can imagine at the time of the announcement, without any other details, how much speculation there was on this set. I remember a lot of players, a lot of collectors, investors. The first thing that popped in mind about Masters 25 was reprint of the reserved list cards. Yes, because Masters 25 would have the best cards of the 25 years of the history of Magic the Gathering, the first thing that pops in mind is reprint of certain reserved list cards. We're talking about Power 9, we're talking about Dual Lands, we're talking about the cards that nowadays cost a lot of money. After a couple of weeks of speculation, Wizards of the Coast came out and said no reprints of the reserve list will be in Masters 25. That was the first hammer. Then, what cards would have been printed in this set? As I said, there should be the best cards from Magic the Gathering, 25 years of history, therefore a lot of speculation of certain particular cards that have a lot of value. We're talking about cards like Force of Will, Mana Drain, Rigid Import. We're talking about a lot of cards that has a lot of value. These cards should have been in Masters 25. Obviously time passed and first spoilers begin for Masters 25. And the most important point about the story is a particular unbanning of a particular card. Yes, I'm talking about Jace the Mind Sculptor. Wizards of the Coast finally took the decision to unban Jace the Mind Sculptor. Jace the Mind Sculptor, prior from the reprint of Masters 25, we have two reprints, Wordwake and Iconic Master, Eternal Masters. We have only those two reprints. The cost of Jace the Mind Sculptor at that time was around $50. $60 if it was Wordwake. The price was not that high. A lot of people, of players, of collectors were burned with this decision. No one was expecting an unban of Jace the Mind Sculptor. I heard and I saw stories of people cancelling orders because obviously with the unban, in a couple of minutes, the price of Jace the Mind Sculptor skyrocketed to $100 ASAP. Can you imagine whoever sold a Jace the Mind Sculptor prior to the unban, how much he was burned, because obviously he sold it at a lesser price. Jace the Mind Sculptor was unbanned, and then it was spoiled for Masters 25. Yes, Jace the Mind Sculptor, you know that Jace the Mind Sculptor is one of the mythic rares in Masters 25. It was spoiled for the set. I must admit that at that time I was hyped about Masters 25. I was thinking that Masters 25 will really have the best cards that Wizards of the Coast could print, because the reserve list was out of our way, the best cards in Magic the Gathering. Then spoiler season began and we had very disappointment cards related to Masters 25. I'm not saying they are very disappointing. The cards were not that bad, but an Armageddon at Mythic, Rigid Import at Rare, these cards were not part of a Masters 25 set. Masters 25 should have been the set of the sets, the set of the Masters of the Masters. We're saying here we're commemorating a quarter of a century of Magic the Gathering, and you give us those type of cards. Yes, I know, Jace the Mind Sculptor now, it's $120, $130. There is Chalice of the Void, there is Ensnaring Bridge, Vedelian Click. These are good cards, but I'm saying that Masters 25 should have deserved a much better reprint in this set. They gave us Rigid Import from Mercadian Mask. At the time of the reprint, at the time before the reprint, Rigid Import had a price tag of $120. That particular price tag was not there because the card is powerful. The card is powerful, but not because the card is so powerful or it's so played. The reason is that the card was very rare. Mercadian Mask had a relatively low print run considering the other modern sets. Therefore, that particular card was very difficult to find in mint condition, and it had a price tag of around $100 to $120. A reprint of Rigid Import in Masters 25 didn't mean that the card will hold the value of $100, and immediately the card went down to less than $20. We had Imperial Recruiter, another example. Imperial Recruiter from Portal. That particular card, before the reprint, had a price tag of $250. Was a beautiful price. Whoever had that particular card was very happy of having Imperial Recruiter, a card of $250. Reprinted in Masters 25, price went down considerably. Nowadays we're talking about $40 to $50 card. Not because Imperial Recruiter was extremely played or was a very powerful card. No, we're talking because Portal 3K is a very rare set and a very low, much lower print run set considering to even that time sets and also considering today's modern sets. This is the curious story of Masters 25. In my opinion, Masters 25 is not a bad set. It's a good set. Obviously, we're talking about boosters that are being sold at $10 each, having 24, that means this is a 240 MSRP box. I don't recall ever seeing that price on these boxes at the time of the release, because, into my opinion, always my opinion, because of the low print of the cards that have been chosen with a very low value, these boxes were being sold at $170. I believe at that time the $170 price tag was justified. These boxes had an EV of around $170, but the problem was Jace the Mind Sculptor or bust. Or you find Jace the Mind Sculptor, or you have been host. Chalice of the Void at the time was about $50, and Ensnaring Bridge was around $30. All these cards, all these good cards, were being sold at a very relatively low price. A lot of players were panicking that their collection will go low in value, and therefore they were selling. Nowadays, these boxes are being sold at around $220 to $230. Still, we haven't reached that line that is the MSRP. At that time, the MSRP of these boxes was $240. In my opinion, Masters 25 is a good set. It's not a set that 25 years of Magic the Gathering should have deserved. Then, and this is the final for our story, the curious story of Masters 25, then something happened. I think Wizards of the Coast heard the complaints of every player, and they released the proper Masters 25 set. They released Ultimate Masters. Ultimate Masters, in my opinion, is the Masters 25 set, is the Masters of the Master set. This set should have been released as a Masters 25 to commemorate 1/4 of a century of Magic the Gathering history. Leave me a comment below. Do you agree with me about Masters 25? Do you agree that Masters 25 was not the real set to commemorate 25 years of Magic the Gathering, but Ultimate Masters is that set? And here there is the subscription button. Subscribe for my channel for more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.